What is up, Jet Nation? Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot tonight. We have a very special guest with us. You guys know him from Hashtag Sports. We got Mario. Welcome to the cockpit, brother.
Cheers, brother. Good to be here.
Glad to have you. Oh, man, we got lots of Jet stuff to go into. We got a little bit of some Bills stuff we'll go into, too. We're going to be taking your calls. We're starting calls at 8:30, just like we do every Monday night. We're going to let's into some comment questions first, hear a little bit of banter back and forth with Mario and myself, and hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of the cockpit. Dude, I love doing this. Every Monday, it's a fun shit show of us just getting together, Jet fans, and the occasional scrub of a Bill fan. That is...
okay. Don't worry, I don't plan on retiring halfway through the show.
See, Jet fans will like that one. That's a good one. See, our guy retired right after a preseason game. We had Catanzaro was like, yo, I can't kick anymore. We're done. We're doing something different.
It could be worse. I mean, Vontae Davis retired at halftime of a regular season game, so...
That is definitely a... I don't know if we've had that one yet. We've had some interesting things happen to us. I apologize. I just got home from work, so I'm going to be eating at the same time as this. So I'll try to eat when Mario's talking, not me.
You'll be able to finish 3 meals by the time I get done.
Oh, yeah, that's just it. I got a few people saying they missed the chat. Joseph Purdy, you're the only one that ever says you missed the chat. Alex Snah, I love collabs. Love to have you here. Steven Engel, glad to have you. Justin Levine, glad to have you. Just Jets, go check him out. Just Jets, new Jet channel, check him out. Staff Sergeant Marines, welcome to the cockpit. Zach Burner, welcome to the cockpit. 16-pound Eagle Eye, what's up, Ryan? Nothing much. Okay, Jamal Adams wants to play cornerback. I would let him. The value in Jamal Adams is he is so versatile. And Mario, let me know if I'm wrong on this, is if you can make the quarterback think a half second longer before he can throw the ball, that is invaluable. You think of a pass rusher makes him throw the ball a little bit faster off his mark. And I've said this stat before. I said it in our last live stream. Adding pressure to the quarterback drops the completion percentage, or the passer rating rather, of quarterbacks from what a Big Ben would be at down to a Blaine Gabbert. And if you can confuse the quarterback in any kind of way, which is why Rex Ryan's defenses were so good, because he had that amoeba kind of defense across the offensive line, or the defensive line and the linebackers. You confuse the offense, you make them think that split second more, which is actually why I'm okay with having a bunch of number 2 corners as opposed to one stud number 1, because you're making the quarterback think about who's open as opposed to being like, hey, Revis is over there, I'm going this way. So he's automatically looking off. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of a screwy way to think about it. But
well, I was always of the thought process. I'm kind of like the opposite, just for the offense. So if the offense has a bunch of number 2s, then the defense can't really slant coverages everywhere. But if you have a bona fide number 1 that you have to cover, it's very tough to not have a lockdown guy, because you're going to have a safety cheat over there, and it's going to be a little bit tough at times. However, I always have the mindset on the defense that all of your studs go down the middle. All of your studs are down the middle. Your defensive tackle, middle linebacker, and safeties have to be paramount, and have your best athletes and football players there. And I think Jamal Adams is that. So moving him to the outside, although he could do it, I much rather him be a stud safety back there where he could play sideline to sideline. So if you just put him on the one side, quarterback really doesn't have to worry about that side sometimes. So I don't know. It's 6-1, half dozen the other, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a big thing, and I agree with defensive tackle. I think that's why the Bills and the Jets both took a defensive tackle this year.
Absolutely.
I think you look at is it Edwards, or I always get that the linebacker with the dreads, Predator. Is he
Predator? Yeah, it hasn't stuck yet here in Buffalo.
It's gonna stick. I'm gonna say it till I'm like red in the face, which I already am. Does he play the middle, or is he more of like an outside kind of presence?
He's in the middle with the way that the Bills play a lot of and I won't get too far into it. They play a lot of nickel sub packages all the time. So what happens is they'll take Lorenzo Alexander out, who's the outside linebacker, and they'll put another corner in there, obviously in their nickel package. But they'll slide Edmonds to the outside every once in a while, because that was his experience playing in college at Virginia Tech. So they'll kind of switch back and forth every once in a while with him, but he's mainly a middle linebacker guy.
Very cool, very cool. Guys, if you haven't checked out Hashtag Sports before, I did not. I got to put their thing in the description. I didn't do that. So go check out Hashtag Sports. I had them in my last description. I'll add them to this one. But definitely sub up Hashtag Sports. Mario and Paul, those guys are great over there. Definitely check them out. Guys, I'm going to be doing a live stream this Thursday for the Jets-Falcons preseason game, so make sure you check that out. I know, Mario, you guys are on Sportscaster, so check out Hashtag Sports on Sportscaster. I am actually just working out the final details with Sportscaster, but I'm going to be making the jump over there as well in some capacity. Yeah. So if you guys haven't followed the Cockpit on Sportscaster, check the description down below. I did just add that link, so, if you want to help a brother out, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
How you like that plug?
That's shameless plug.
That's all right. I don't care. These guys are here for the content. I like it. True. So Mario, we were talking last week a little bit, very briefly, about LeSean McCoy and Le'Veon Bell. How the Bills got LeSean McCoy at, I believe it was 27 years old, and the Jets got Le'Veon Bell at 26 years old. So There's a little bit of similarities in the in that respect, along with the whole rookie quarterback thing last year, and just the way the teams are both being built. The Bills and Jets are very similar teams in that respect.
Yeah.
And how does LeSean McCoy's contract look going forward? How do you guys envision the future of the Bills' backfield?
Well, the Buffalo Bills decided to take Devin Singletary in the third round this year. They decided to sign T.J. Yeldon 2 days before the draft even happened, and they picked up Frank Gore. So, and they also added guys such as Sonoris Perry from Miami, because the two guys that are running the research and development department in One Bills Drive, Drew Lock and Drew Hickey, they were from Miami. They both worked in Miami for a year, which is why we have Jordan Phillips, which is why we have Sonoris Perry, Frank Gore maybe. They're more Moneyball guys. They're very Moneyball. If you've ever seen the movie, they try to find value in players that no one else sees, and they don't really sign them to very lucrative contracts. But bringing it back over to McCoy. McCoy's in the last year of his deal. He's going to be 31 this year. That's why the Bills are taking so many of these other guys in order to try to solidify their team in that respect, because they don't know what's going to happen with Shady next year, and I just, on the flip side of that, you want to look at the New York Jets running back situation. You guys pick up Bell. That was a huge get. It was awesome. You guys also pick up Ty Montgomery as like an insurance policy.
Yep.
You got Powell there. You got Elijah McGuire, who I think is one of the most underrated scat backs, third down guys, much like a Darren Sproles, but I think he's more of a pounder than Darren was. So you got all of these guys intertwined within the Jets that I am really looking forward to see. Not against the Bills, however, but I'm looking forward to see how that's going to play out. And you give Adam Gase and Darrell Bevell all those tools, my God, he's going to make something happen.
I'm excited. I really think there's a good chance that McGuire and Cannon, the two Jet running backs, Cannon's got a little bit of possibility on the special team side of things, but I think there's a possibility that McGuire and Cannon are both cut by the Jets.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think you bring back Bilal Powell unless you feel like he's healthy or going to make a full recovery, because I think he's clearly better than McGuire. He's a lot older than McGuire, and I would obviously love to see McGuire take that kind of role. But I don't think you're cutting Montgomery, and you're not cutting Bell, but
yeah, true.
I think those are there's a real situation where the Jets have too many running backs and not enough, balls to go around. I would be interested to see what happens with McGuire, because I think he's good enough to stick on a team, but I don't know if the Jets are going to wind up being that team in the end.
So you got Cannon and McGuire are both 25, as I'm looking at it right now, and Powell's 30, Montgomery's 26. It seems like Montgomery's been in the league for quite a bit of time, but he hasn't. But you look at it from that respect. You want to try to mix a little bit of youth and a little bit of veteran leadership. If you look at Bilal Powell, and then I'll let you answer this question for me, Cannon, McGuire, Powell, and Montgomery, because Bell's not going to do it. Which one of those guys or multiple guys do you see playing special teams? Because that's usually the linchpin that happens with some of these players, is they'll keep them because they're able to fulfill multiple roles. What do you think about those four guys could play special teams? We've seen Montgomery return kick, so I think he's automatically in. But of Powell, McGuire, and Cannon, which one of those guys do you see as a special teams contributor?
Honestly, I think of the guys that we have on the roster as far as running backs go, I think Cannon is probably, other than McGuire, or not McGuire, I'm sorry, Montgomery. I think Montgomery
Okay.
is a good fit. A lot of Jet fans were upset that we let go of Andre Roberts, which you guys now have. I think there's a twofold. So we lost our two Pro Bowl special teamers, which I guess will
Okay.
answer the, Montgomery is the answer to the question you asked. But as far as special teams go, with do we go with Cannon as our kick returner? Why did we let go of Andre Roberts? Obviously, Roberts is a little bit older. I think Jason Myers, kicking wise, he had only had one really good year. Now, do you invest the money that was needed to invest in him to keep him on the Jets, or do you try to go with a random kicker? Unfortunately, Catanzaro was not the answer, but having, Ross Martin or Taylor Bertolet or whatever in Jets camp, we didn't sign Jason Myers till the last week of the preseason last year, so we can
Yeah.
get a Pro Bowl kicker, kind of on short notice. It's not necessarily the most ideal way you wanted to go about it, but I think there's ways to acquire special teams talent. So even a kick returner, I mean, we could look further than just a running back. You could look at a cornerback. Now, granted, the Jets cornerbacks have kind of taken a little bit of a hit. We lost Tremaine Johnson, not indefinitely, but we're not exactly sure what kind of hamstring injury he's dealing with right now, and there's no real timetable for him to come back.
Yeah.
I don't mind him not playing any more of the preseason games as long as we can get him back for week one.
Yeah.
But that is a concern because cornerback is already a very shallow or very limited depth perception per position for the Jets. I would say if you had to poll Jet fans, we would say probably cornerback and offensive line would be our two biggest concerns. We have some weapons on offense. Our defense is pretty legit. Our offensive line feels better now that we have Khalil, now that we have Alex Lewis. Like, we're adding some pieces. A lot of us want to trade for Trent Williams. I don't know what it would take, but if the Jets think that, Darnold's the truth for the next 3-4 years, even if you get Trent Williams for 3 years before Sam's on his next deal, I think Jet fans would be okay with shelling out a little more money to protect him to hopefully get us over the hump. As far as the rest of the Bills' skill position players, who would you think are going to be top fantasy possible projections going into the season? Who are you excited? I got one guy saying Dortch for the Jets. I don't know if you've watched. I think it was Greg Dortch, or I can't think of his first name, but Dortch for
Great.
the Jets.
Yes.
Real good. He has got a lot of pop. He's someone I'll be watching on during the Atlanta game on Thursday, which you should definitely tune into the Cockpit because I'm going to be live streaming. Another selfless plug.
Sportscaster.com. Make sure you
Sportscaster,
guys
yeah. Check out
become a fan.
hashtag sports. Check out the Cockpit on Sportscaster. Definitely check us out. It helps grow the channel. It helps us do some of the fun stuff we get to do on here, and it helps me maybe get a better mic or things like that. So definitely look into that. But
as far as the Buffalo Bills skill positions, obviously we have Cole Beasley in the slot, which is he's gonna kind of pacify our tight end position while we get that all sorted out. Tyler Croft, he got hurt a little bit there. We got John Brown, who's a deep threat. We have Robert Foster, who's a deep threat. We have Zay Jones as one of those slot guys. It seems like we do have a lot of number twos all spread around. So, and in the way that Brian Dable, offensive coordinator, came over from New England, he knows that Earnhardt Perkins system. He abuses that, and it's very similar. We talked about the similarities between the Jets and the Bills so much, and the fact that the pattern of things that are going on in the NFL right now is you draft a rookie quarterback. Because of the rookie wage scale, you could spend money everywhere else. You could buy all these nice, neat little toys. And then when Allen, hopefully, and Darnold progress to the point where you're going to have to pay them, they can start winning games for you. And so you don't need so many fringe guys to get it done. You look at an Aaron Rodgers. I know that's a very lofty goal for anybody because Aaron Rodgers, I put up the top list of all the types of quarterbacks that you have out there. He was on a rookie deal. They got all these nice little parts, but now he's a guy that could win games for you with talent that may not be high priced talent. So in that respect, I see Darnold along that path. I see Allen along that path. They have amazing talent, and they have amazing talent around. That's why you put a Le'Veon Bell with him. Hey, listen, I was with Big Ben. Big Ben won 2 Super Bowls. Here's how he went about his daily activities. And you put all these veteran linemen. I mean, you got Beecham, Osemele, Khalil, Winters, and Shell. These guys are really good at trying to make line calls for him until he progresses to the point where he has to start making line calls. So I think it's a great scenario for the Jets, and you guys are set up really nice. You got a lot of great young talent infused in there, and it's going to be exciting to see over the next, hopefully 10 years of Darnold and Allen going back and forth. It's going to be like the good old Ken O'Brien versus Jim Kelly days,
I'm excited. I mean, especially it's cool because Darnold and Allen are friends. Like, it doesn't seem like Darnold, Allen, Rosen are like really close with Baker. Like, Baker kind of feels like the outside kind of guy to me. But it looks like, and even Rosen for that matter. Like, I don't think anyone likes Rosen. Like, he's probably like, oh, this guy's like a jerk. But like, it seems like Allen and Darnold are very much of that blue collar mindset. Even though Darnold grew up in California and he's used to the limelight, where Allen was in Wyoming and maybe didn't have the recognition that he could have deserved playing at a bigger school. I think they kind of bond over that blue collar kind of mentality, and I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. I think the Bills and Jets are in a very interesting spot moving forward, and I'm excited. I think the Jets and Bills playoff hopes are going to be decided on week 1 and week 17. And what scares me is I have a feeling the Jets could go 10-6, and I think the Jets will win week 1. And I have a feeling we're going to lose week 17, and it's going to be the same thing as that goddamn Rex Ryan season.
Oh boy!
And I'm going to throw this computer right out the window. You're going to see me rage quit.
Like, if they both come into that game 9-6, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh,
I really.
Jeez.
We might have to put a ban on talking to each other for that week because.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna have to put up some kind of bet. We should put up some kind of bet for week 1 because I think that would be fun for both hashtag fans and and the cockpit Jet fans over here. I think we could.
I would leave it up to hashtag Nation and the passengers. I would leave it all up to them. Whatever bet that they would decide. Like I'm not opposed. We had a bet on hashtag Sports once, and Paul lost it.
Was that the Antonio Brown one?
It was similar. No. We bet because of all the stuff that was going on. He bet me that the Bills would take a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds, and they didn't.
Okay.
So hashtag Nation voted that he had to do 2 things. One, he had to wear a Tom Brady jersey.
I remember the Tom Brady jersey.
The second part was he had to eat wings with ranch instead of blue cheese. Where if you're from Buffalo or Western New York, ranch is no on your wings. So in the car, as I was driving, he was wearing a Tom Brady jersey while eating wings with ranch on them, and it was just one of the most brutal punishments ever. It was so bad.
That's fantastic. We got to come up with something. So, Jet Nation passengers, let me know in the comment section, in the chat, what kind of bet would you like to see hashtag Sports and the Jets do? What can they do if the Jets win week 1? And then I'm sure we'll get some rebuttal on week 17.
Oh yeah.
And what would I have to do? What is the penance that Ryan is going to have to take if the Jets
Joseph
lose?
G, what are you doing, man? He said hashtag and Ryan should fight to the death.
Wow, that's aggressive. Joseph G, I think that's real aggressive.
Escalated quickly.
It's weird that AB was a Bill. AB was not a Bill. AB was like almost a Bill, and he said, "Nah, I want my old helmet back. I want to go to the." I was like, okay, this dude wants to wear a Steelers helmet on the Raiders. This guy's an asshole.
The Bills, I swear to God, the
you guys dodged a bullet.
The outpouring of Bills fans that said how ironic that he dodges the Bills and he gets frostbite.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The irony is too much.
When Paul did his live stream when Brown apparently went to the Bills, I was down in Florida, so I jumped in. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I was like, all right, you know what? This is like Antonio Brown got sent to the wall. If you're a Game of Thrones fan,
oh boy,
like, oh, you know what? If you're Mike Tomlin, you're like, all right, fuck this guy. Let's send him to the frozen tundra. You don't want to send him to Aaron Rodgers because he's a god, but like you're not really sure about Josh Allen yet, so like send him to Buffalo. So I got a good kick out of that. Paul wasn't too happy with me, I don't think, but
no. Hey, here's no other thing that I thought was very interesting. Let's just kick it back to the roster real quick because we were talking about the running back situation and everything, and those guys, McGuire, Powell, and all that. I find it sneaky good on the part of the Jets and Gase and all those guys picking up Ty Montgomery because of the versatility that he has. He can play wide out, he can play running back, he can do a bunch of different things for you. You don't want to have that severe drop off if Bell's not in the game. or has to come out or has to have a drop off in that respect. I think that's so sneaky good that you could still have a set of plays that you would call with Bell in there if Montgomery's in there. Now, I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying the skill set of he can catch the ball and he can run the ball is very unique in that sense. So he could still have those similar type packages with Bell and Montgomery in there if he decided to do so. I think that's, from a football standpoint, I thought that was just very sneaky on the Jets' part.
Yeah, I have to agree. I really think Montgomery is one of the underrated signings for the Jets. I think, on that same note, I think Crowder is probably going to get the most receptions by any Jets receiver this year. I mean, you look at how Gase kind of used weapons in Miami and how the league kind of trends. You watch Tom Brady. Tom Brady basically sets the trends, and Belichick and all those guys. They're using Welker. They're using Edelman. They're using all these like shifty guys to just cut across the middle. You use Gronk to kind of clear out some of the linebackers. I think the Jets will try to use Herndon in that fashion, but they're going to use Enunwa in the 4 games prior that Herndon suspended for. You're going to use Robbie over the top. If the Jets can get more offensive line help or more protection in general, and Sam can actually have time to throw to Robbie, I think we're going to see Robbie's numbers explode. It's really going to matter. I think Robbie's numbers depend on the offensive line, where Crowder and Enunwa and Bell, if the line isn't up to par, you're going to see those numbers way higher than you may have otherwise thought. But Montgomery, the ability to kick return, the ability to be a wide receiver, the ability to be a running back is absolutely huge. And even with Bell being a receiver, imagine this. The Jets are running a 2-minute drill, and you're running down the field. You have Bell, you have Montgomery in the backfield, you have Herndon, you have Robbie, you have Crowder, and you have Enunwa. You got all these guys across the field, and you're pushing the ball. You're pushing the ball. Now you're like, okay, let's run the ball. Now you got Montgomery in the fullback position. You have Bell in the tailback position, and then you have Herndon split out wide. You have Robbie split out wide. You have Enunwa split out wide. Yeah. And you can you can swap out. It doesn't have to be Crowder. It doesn't have to be Montgomery. You can have, I think those two guys you could probably swap in and out while having a good 2-minute drill. But the Jets are going to be very dangerous being able to run or pass based like out of a base formation. It's really cool. Like Enunwa could even line up as a tailback. He could line up as a linebacker, or not linebacker, tight end. He could line up as a wide receiver. He could line up in the slot. Like the Jets receivers are very well complemented as long as everyone can stay healthy. I know Enunwa the other day got injured in practice. He's fine now. He's been practicing, but there's a lot of versatility to this offense, and it's much like I brought up earlier with Jamal Adams. You have this versatility that makes the quarterback think about where he's going to be. The same way you thought about Polamalu, the same way you thought about Ed Reed, all these different guys. And with the offense, it's the same way. If you can make the defensive end pause for a second, you think, oh, is Herndon going out? Is Bell running out into the flat? Well, I'm not going to crash down on Darnold because I might get beat over the back. Yep. And, maybe that gives Darnold that extra quarter of a second, half a second, whatever he needs to kind of increase his knowledge of what the defense is doing. The Jets' offense is going to be sneaky good, and I'm hoping they all gel together because I think a lot of people are overlooking both the Bills and the Jets, and it's something that it's weird because I don't have any like hate towards the Bills, and I don't have as much towards the Dolphins, I guess.
Dude, we've been in the same spot trying to dethrone the Patriots for so long. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's what we talk about a lot of times. But I got a question for you, and I got a question for the passengers and Jets. All right, now because of the suspension that Herndon is going to be serving.
Yep.
Now, because Enunwa. Now let me just fact check this because I don't want to be wrong.
That's fine.
Enunwa happened to be. He's 6'2", 2.25. He could fill like that H-back role, that type of role. With him out, do you think that Anderson and Crowder are gonna assume their roles as the guy that takes the top off the defense and the guy that's the slot guy that goes in there? Do you think that Enunwa ends up taking Herndon's role as that H-back coming out, where it's going to give the teams different looks, and then like Josh Bellamy's going to come in or anybody of that nature as into Enunwa's spot? So Enunwa could play like that tight end role, and you're going to have a lot of mismatches with Enunwa on linebackers in that respect.
That's interesting. I think I agree with that. I think that's probably what we'll wind up seeing. We drafted Trayvon Wesco in I believe it was the 4th round, tight end out of West Virginia, and a lot of fans want to see Wesco start catching balls, but he's also a bit of a blocker. So I think Enunwa is more the role that Herndon was or is. and we'll see Enunwa kind of mold into that role. I think they'll use Wesco more in blocking packages. I think it'll be interesting because Herndon and Darnold really put together a rapport. Even during the first drive of the first preseason game, you saw there was a connection there. Herndon knew how to get behind the linebackers and kind of pop into open coverage. And I think a lot of Jet fans are nervous because we want to see Enunwa really be healthy. If Enunwa can stay healthy, a lot of us think he is a number one in this league. He's really, he's a freak of nature at his height and his speed and his strength. He can really dominate a defense. The only issue has been he's pulled a hamstring, he's hurt his neck, he's all these different things that have really kind of set him back. And we got a few things in the comment section. I saw earlier. One of us would have to get a tattoo of the other logo. That's not happening. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't even get a tattoo of my own logo. I wouldn't even do that.
No, it's not happening.
The jersey thing's kind of cool. For those of you that are joining in the cockpit, Ryan and I did a simulcast.
How am I getting a call? I'm not even in the friggin'.
I just want to say this real quick. Ryan and I did a simulcast before, and I informed him that my brother grew up a Jets fan. So he used to bring me to Bills games wearing Mark Gastineau jerseys. So I understand the life of a Jets fan and how you guys have suffered over the years and the things that have happened. You know what? He had to give me it in 1998 when they were in the AFC Championship game versus the Broncos. He let me have it. You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh my God, they're up at 10-0 at the half. This is ridiculous. I can't believe they did it." So I understand your pain. That, along with being a Bills fan myself, we've toiled in the basement too long. So I'm just and by the way, thanks to who was it? Let me just think about Gangrene Davies. Said, "Dude, like Shawn Michaels." I'm like, okay. Right. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, I'm throwing up the phone number on the screen. We're going to take some calls. It looks like we got a caller right now.
Call from
Joseph.
To accept.
What's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit. What's on your mind?
A lot of things are on my mind. I just want to say the first thing that I want to say is when Darnold goes to Buffalo week 1, he's going to light it up like the New York skyline.
I like it. Now, what makes you so confident? Is it what you saw in the preseason game? Is it what you saw Buffalo possibly give up? Or what makes you so confident that Darnold is going to light up this defense?
Well, as Gay said in training camp, his arm has gotten even stronger, and as we saw against the good games that he had, he could throw accurately and with power.
Mm-hmm.
And against...
I agree. And I just wiped my mouth with a cloth napkin. All you bachelors out there, if you want to be on the ritzy end of life, get a cloth napkin and throw it in the washing machine because it is absolutely magical.
You are so bougie.
Dude, I've been domesticated by my fiance, and I'll never go back to paper. Every now and then we'll have a party and we'll have a bunch of regular paper napkins around, and I hate life until we get rid of them. She's like, "Oh no, we got to use them up before we go back to the cloth." I'm like, I'm going to strangle someone. But yeah, no, okay. So let's get back to the Bills Jets. I think Darnold's arm getting stronger is going to help in the winter when we're back in Buffalo in the winter, because obviously Josh Allen is going to have an upper hand because his arm is a cannon. If I'm not mistaken, does he have the hardest throw in combine history, or was that? I know Mahomes was pretty high up there.
I'm pretty. I want to fact check that. I'm pretty sure that he did, but he was. They just showed a little clip of him. He was talking to one of the defensive linemen, and he's just walking over to him. Allen's on the goal line. He says, "Hey, can you just throw it 50? Just relax." He's like, "Oh, you mean just like that?" He just flicks his wrist and it goes 50 yards. And then him and Tyree Jackson were having an argument about whose arm was stronger, and it was pretty hysterical. But I do agree with the caller. I mean, Darnold. A lot of these guys, they go when they're rookies. They go right from the end of the year. Then they're training for the combine. They actually have workouts to master things at the combine. Then they go to the draft. Then they go to OTAs. Then they have rookie camp. Then they go. So they don't have an off season to really prepare and build their bodies up. Mm-hmm. So then fast forward to now, Darnold has had a full off season to rest his body, do everything he needs to do, gain the strength that he needs to do in his arm, and do all those little things, along with putting his face in the playbook. So it is. I agree with you that Darnold is going to be a better quarterback in year 2. Putting him with Gase is scary to me as a Bills fan, and the NFL should take notice of that as well.
What's cool is we got Doug Lass in the chat. He said Jet fans should fear Josh Allen. Josh Allen is absolutely terrifying, and I apologize, caller. I'll get back to you in a second. But the fact that Josh Allen is like a gazelle in the open field is terrifying. If he can figure out the accuracy thing, I think the Jets are going to be in a world of hurt. It's going to be pretty terrifying.
He is just so raw.
He can find the accuracy.
Caller, where are you calling from? I'm curious.
It's the same person from Texas.
Oh, Texas! I'm sorry, it was so muffled coming in, I couldn't hear whose voice it was. But see, Longhorns. Are you a Longhorn fan, or are you a Northeast fan that was transplanted in Texas?
Oh no, I was born in California. My dad was born in Queens.
Oh, okay. So is there a college team that you root for? Are you like a USC kind of guy, a UCLA kind of guy, or are you a Texas kind of college person?
Well, I've been in Texas for a long time, so I'm kind of getting into the Longhorn because that's all they talk about here is college football.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's just it. Once you get south of the Mason-Dixon line, it's all about it's all that college football. That's why the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Bucks, all those teams don't have full attendance in any of their stadiums, aside from them not being very good. But even when Jacksonville is pretty good, it's dude, it's Saturday. Well, I mean, you also think, I guess, Sunday is the day of worship. So I guess you call it that Bible Belt. You get a lot of people that are going to more of a religious Sunday as opposed to football, where you have, I mean, high school football down in Texas and down in Florida and down in California is huge. College football is huge. So there's a lot of competition, where in the Northeast, there's not really that kind of competition that you get. You get a lot of, it's really basically pro sports.
Yeah. I would also like to talk about the preseason week 1.
Sure.
What I wanted to say was, people are getting so hyped about how Daniel Jones was oh my God, he threw 5 for 5. And don't get me wrong, that is impressive, but he was against backups and they weren't blitzing him. I think when he gets...
I agree. I completely agree. You look at the team he was going against. I think Quinnen Williams is the only person that we project to be a starter that was on that field during Daniel Jones' touchdown drive, and he was getting double teamed left and right. So you look at, and even the safety was the 4th string safety that they threw it against, and the corner was an undrafted free agent. So I get it. Giant fans are busting a nut over Daniel Jones, but I want to see him go against actual competition, because the Jets defense shut down the entire Giant offense for the time that they were on the field, and I think that's exciting. I think there's going to be a real test I don't know is Julio playing right now, or is he holding out for a new contract? Because this offense that we're going to go against on Thursday with the Falcons is going to be more of a true test against our defense, even though everything's kind of vanilla. I think that's going to be huge. But I agree. I think having Daniel Jones go against a second team offense or defense with their first team offense is kind of I don't know. It's kind of deceiving to a lot of fans. They're going to talk up Daniel Jones. Everything in New York. I don't know, Mario, if you guys get this up in Buffalo, but the last week of media coverage has been, oh my God, Daniel Jones, this guy is incredible. All the doubters back in April, he wasn't supposed to go in the first round, and now he's proving his stock. It's all right, calm down. Let's see what winds up happening.
Let me just say this real quick, and the caller can hear this as well, and so could the passengers in the cockpit. Nathan Peterman proved to be pretty good in preseason, so that just tells you out right there.
Well, dude, the first drive of Christian Hackenberg's career was a touchdown. So one of the things I say is yo, Giant fans, dial it back. Let's see what happens.
You've seen the movie Major League?
Oh yeah.
Right. When he goes, wow, or Major League 2, when he goes, wow, Willie really picked up some power this offseason. And then the coach goes, off a guy that'll be bagging groceries next week. Half these guys aren't even going to make the teams that he's throwing touchdowns on. So I'm not even worried about it.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you think, what are the rosters at right now? 95 or 93 or something like that? They're gonna
90, they're 90.
90. So you're cutting 40 dudes. Like, these guys are not going to be in the NFL, or at least not like on this team. And you're thinking it's going to be even more than the 40 that you have, because you're probably going to pick up free agents from other teams. I expect the Jets to look at Baltimore and Philly because of Joe Douglas connection for the free agents that we want. We're going to look for like the guy that they cut for a corner in Philly, or in Baltimore. That's kind of where I expect the Jets free agents to go. And caller, I'm going to hang up on you right now because you've been in the cockpit too long.
No.
Ejected. Boom! I need to get a little animation for when I eject people from the cockpit because I have way too much fun with it for it not to be like a chicken flying into the air or something like that. Ooh, we got a $1.99 donation.
Two for blowing up
Call
Belichick in
from
your
David
background.
Gangrene. To accept.
Gangrene David, hold on one second. Welcome to the cockpit, but I got a $1.99 donation from Illuminati 187. 2 for blowing up Belichick in the background. Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate that. I hate Bill Belichick. He's a terrible human being. He wrote his resignation on a napkin for the Jets, and he can go to hell. Bye, bomb. What's up, Gangrene David? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up, Brian? What's up, special guest? If I can recall your name, I'll probably just call you Shawn Michaels.
Mario. He's been
Oh
calling you
my
Shawn
God.
Michaels.
You're getting a super kick, I swear to God.
We're going to eject him. Boom.
That.
Gangrene
Nice
David
to
and I
meet
are
you,
going
man.
to the green and white scrimmage for the Jets on, is it the 18th, David?
Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday.
shit. It's this Sunday already?
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
Motherfucker. Okay.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Cursing on
Demonetization.
YouTube.
Dropping
Brian, you're gonna
F-bombs.
get demonetized, man.
Dropping F-bombs. No. David, you were at training camp, was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
I was at training camp yesterday for the second time. It was definitely fun. I got some footage over there. I don't know if I'm going to post a vlog. I mean, I didn't vlog too much over there because I just wanted to kind of enjoy it more or less. Also, it was kind of hard for me to kind of vlog getting players' autographs because it was like a lot more packed and chaotic than it was last time I did it. But at least on the bright side, I got 3 Sam Darnold autographs now. I have 4 Jamal autographs now. And I also got autographs from Santonio Holmes, Greg Dortch. I think Luke Falk signed my football too.
Santonio Holmes was
I
out
just
there
got-
with you? What are you
What?
talking about? You said Santonio Holmes.
Yeah, Santonio Holmes was signing autographs over there.
What? I didn't know that.
Yep, I got his signature.
That's very cool. I wanted to get out there. Everything was sold out, so I only got myself hooked up with the green and white scrimmage.
Yeah, I could have signed you a ticket.
Yeah, actually, who the hell was it? Kyle was trying to get me a ticket for the. He has 2 tickets for the Jets Saints game. I was asking if I want. I just got to pay for parking, but I think I have a golf outing that weekend, and I probably am not going to do that. And I also want to do my live stream. I got to. Gangrene David, are you on Sportscaster?
Not yet.
I haven't done anything with it yet.
Oh, he's on it. Follow me. I'll give you a follow back. Anyone that's in the cockpit, if you haven't dropped a like, we got 61 people in here. There's 19 likes. This is a bunch of bullshit. Hit that like button and then follow #Nation, Gangrene David, and Jets Talk, or I guess it would be the cockpit on Sportscaster. Link in the description down below. David, how do you feel about the kicking situation?
I kind of glad Ganonzero's gone. He's definitely looked spotty throughout the preseason and training camp, but I think bringing in a younger kicker, Taylor Bertolette, a guy who's played here last year, I definitely do like that pickup, but I do think we also need depth at the kicker spot. Bottom line is, even though Cannizzaro retired, we still need competition at the kicker spot. And I would like that veteran presence in Matt Bryant. I hope we don't get Blair Walsh because that would just be another step back for this team. So I think you bring in Matt Bryant and you have him kind of mentor, and you have that depth signing, and you kind of have, and you also want to have that clutch field goal kicker, and that's Matt Bryant. You can have Taylor Bertolette on potential kickoff situations. So I think you bring in that Matt Bryant to kind of have that depth, that veteran presence, and that mentorship in the kicking spot. You have that competition.
Now, do you think, so there was a lot of talk of Jet fans wanting, I'm going to screw up this dude's name, the kicker from Baltimore, the backup kicker, Kari Varadic, or Varovic, or whatever, Vadvic,
Yeah.
Did you want the Jets to give up a 5th-round pick to get him, being that he is a kicker and a punter,
No.
so you could theoretically have one extra roster slot for a dude that's on a rookie contract?
No, I'm a 5th-round pick for a kicker. I think it's a little bit too much. I think for a kicker like him, I would have given up maybe a 6th-round pick at best. A 7th-round pick is what should have gotten for him because he's 25. He hasn't exactly been in-game situations where he's had to kick a game-winner field goal or a 50-yard field goal in the NFL. So I think what's on his resume wouldn't exactly be worth a 5th-round pick. It would be the 7th-round pick at best, or 6th-round pick at best.
Now, I think there's probably a little bit of I would bet the Jets probably offered something. It wouldn't shock me if we offered a 6th-round pick. I think the Vikings are probably in a different position where a lot of people probably expect the Vikings to go further than the Jets. So you're looking at, hey, Kirk Cousins has 2 more years left on his deal. They're trying to make an all-out push for it. You're putting in a 5th-round pick who probably is not going to contribute right away, at least in the next 2 years. While Cousins is there, you're pushing all the chips into the center. The Jets giving up a 5th-round pick, while I don't think it's a crazy ton, is probably not quite in line with where we are as a team. I think that's probably my stance on it. I do think it would have been interesting. I would have probably been okay with it had we done it, just because the percentage chance of a 5th-round pick actually panning out is pretty slim. But one of the camp favorites right now, Cashman, was a 5th-round pick. So obviously you can find contributors and guys that can benefit this team in those later rounds.
Blake Cashman, believe it or not, has been one of the more underrated prospects in camp. The guy's speed and hitting power is actually showing, especially if you look at that preseason game. He actually was part of a forced turnover. Like, he had that big hit on Paul Perkins and got the ball out. The guy has potential. He has speed. If the hitting power's there, but I just wonder if the coverage will be there too, out of a guy who's a 5th-round pick and who's had a little bit of an injury history. But the speed is definitely there. I actually like Blake Cashman.
I'm a big fan of. So when I made my draft video on Cashman, I was very much in line with, I think he's going to be a very good special teams player for us this year, and I think he could develop into a good defensive player later on. I think I'm still going to stick with that. It sounds like he's been pretty good in coverage. He's been, I think, our 2nd best linebacker in coverage next to Mosley. But I still, at this point, until I see a little bit more, I'd like to, I think I'm going to stick with my guns and say he's going to be a very good special teams player, at least for year 1.
No, I would definitely say so. I think the guy he's kind of a bit of a project, but
Sure.
the potential is definitely there for him to kind of mold himself into a stellar first-team defensive player himself. But obviously now injuries are piling up for the Jets like a bunch of bricks. I think I haven't been on social media today, and I probably won't be for a little bit. But I looked at some articles, and I read that looks like Assembly's dealing with a strained pectoral.
Yep.
Henry Hampton has a head injury. Tremaine Johnson with a hamstring injury.
Yep.
The Jets corner also now has an injury himself. Leonard Williams with a hip injury. Winter still has a shoulder injury. Like, injuries are piling up for the Jets like a bunch of bricks. And if I'm Joe Douglas, I'm getting a corner or I'm getting Eric Berry. One way or another, this team is lacking depth in the secondary, especially since the pass rush at the outside linebacker spot is still relatively questionable and unproven on the other side. And if that pass rush does not make its mark, and that's where the spotlight falls on the pass rush, the secondary is going to struggle badly. And that's the reason why they've struggled in relative past. Especially, you can set as many blitzes as you want. If that specific team you're playing picks up that blitz, your secondary will be getting torched left and right, especially if you're playing man-to-man coverage schemes, because your secondary is lacking depth, they're lacking experience, and especially with the receivers we're going up against this year, Joe Douglas must make a move. He has to get the corner spot. He has to get the corner spot solidified, and I think you either trade for Jalen Ramsey or Darius Slay at this case, or you go out and sign Eric Berry, because it mind boggles me that he's still a free agent.
See, my issue with the Jets secondary, we're lacking the depth portion, but I think if you're giving up picks for Jalen Ramsey or Slay. I think Slay is more in line with where I'd probably feel comfortable going. But even then, you're giving up so much money for a corner position, and not even just a corner position, but a defensive position that, you know, the rules are stacked against the defense. So it's hard for me to want to give up assets when, you know, Darnold is going to be able to come in and really, you know, throw the ball a ton. I think we're going to see before we see more defense, I think we're going to see a lot more offensive firepower from Darnold. And I don't know. I'm not sold on the Jets corners. I would like us to bring in someone. I don't know how much I want to give up for that someone. I think Jalen Ramsey's out of my price range. Slay I could be a little more on board with.
I think you give up less for Slay, but it does come down to this, where the spotlight could fall more on the offense at this point to really and coming in close in certain situations, because if you go into the season with
Gangrene David, I love words. Gangrene David, I love you. I've kicked you off the cockpit because your phone is breaking up, so I apologize. It's been fun.
Well, he does bring up an interesting point, and the passengers in the cockpit are really bringing up an interesting point as far as Eric Berry. I mean, if you're already making the decision to move Adams out to corner, you may have a contingency plan in place, because looking at the depth chart of the Jets right now, I mean, Middleton, Bryant, Miles. I mean, do you trust those guys in the back end? I mean, you got Darryl Roberts from New England. You got Brian Poole. I think he's going to make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
You said Tremaine Johnson's hurt. What, he hurt his hamstring or something like that?
Yeah, I think he'll be ready for week 1. I think they're just being precautionary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I would be okay with the Jets not like really touching any of these players in the preseason. Who we
Call
got?
from Filling Cactus. To accept.
Someone from Texas. What's up? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind, person from Texas? What's your name?
I wanted to know who's your favorite player on the Jets? How do you
Go on.
yeah. And how do you think Adam Gase is going to help Darnold improve in year 2?
My favorite player on the Jets, bar none, is Jamal Adams. He is electric. The biggest knock against Adams for Jet fans is that Adams is not a quarterback. The fact that the Jets got Darnold in last year's draft makes the Adams pick that much more, I guess, okay or fine. And this dude wants to be a Jet, and he wants to try to get talent on the Jets. And I think that's something we haven't really had for a very long time. The closest thing we had was really Rex Ryan, who was trying to get people energized and excited about coming to the Jets. And having a player who's one of the best safeties in the NFL just in 2 years, I think he's going to wind up being the best safety at some point. And, you know, it's just he loves playing the game. He loves having fun. Him knocking out the Patriots mascot just is bonus points for me. So I really, I am really happy with Jamal Adams. On the offensive side of the ball, I have to go with my boy Sam Darnold. I really think he is the truth. I think he's going to be the franchise quarterback that we have. I don't want to say we've never had, but the franchise quarterback that is going to be the dominant. I think Darnold's going to be a top 3 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback for the entirety of his career once it clicks. And it might take a year or two, but I think, and I'll double down on this, I think the Jets are going to win a Super Bowl in the next 4 years while Darnold is on his rookie deal. I really believe it. Caller, who is your favorite Jet player?
Easily Jamal Adams, same as you.
I love
He's
it.
just a dog.
I love it.
He's not someone greedy for the money. He's someone that loves the team. He plays for the team. And he's just so electrifying. And I think he's probably one of the best safeties in the league. Probably is the best safety in the league, in my opinion.
I completely agree. Now, I do want to keep in mind Jamal is going into his 3rd year of his deal. I don't want to shame a player for being money hungry based on the amount of hits and traumatic injury that they really take on. I think when Jamal comes up, he should be the highest paid safety in the league. I really hope we re-up him at that point. I hope we extend him. I hope he's one of those players that, we let him play out the 5-year duration of his contract, but in year 4 we extended him like an additional 3-4 years, whatever it is. I don't want it to come to the stalemate that the Jets and Revis came to. I don't want it to be a money-hungry battle. I just want the Jets to be like, hey, Jamal, you've earned your contract. You've helped this team both from a player personnel point of view, from getting guys to come sign here. You've helped us from a marketing point of view in terms of what the fans like. You have been all about the team. You have changed this dynamic around the locker room. This guy is someone that needs to be a lifetime Jet, and I really, really hope that is the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Jamal Adams. He's the best.
Thank you.
And also,
Yep, go on. What's up?
and also, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Kansas.
Oh, from Kansas. Okay. Dorothy, we are not in Kansas anymore. Boom! We ejected you from the cockpit. That's how
I knew it was coming. Oh, well, the thing that is very telling, Ryan. I know you're a big salary cap guy, as am I, as Paul as well here on the Nation. We have to remember that the CBA is renegotiating at the end of 2020, which is the 5th-year option for Jamal Adams. So it could be a scenario where he just plays out that 2020 season, and then they make a decision on the CBA what they're going to end up doing.
Mm-hmm.
He could see an even bigger increase in his salary to be a Jet long term, and they could raise the salary cap as well. So a lot of things going on with the new CBA at the end of the 2020 season. It unfortunately coincides with the end of Jamal Adams' contract. So we have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Chris from Florida.
Chris from Florida, I'm really glad to have you on the cockpit, but I want to answer Mario's question real quick, or his comment about the salary cap. That's one of the reasons why Kirk Cousins took a 3-year deal from the Vikings, is because the salary cap's going to have some type of effect. There's a really good chance that there is no NFL in 2021? It would be after the 2020 season, I believe.
It'd be after the 2020 season, yeah.
That is going to be huge. There's going to be a really big stalemate, and I think that's why the XFL is going to try and launch during that time. To try and capture some of that divisiveness. I think that's the word. It's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. I think Jamal. There's going to be a lot of interesting contracts. It's almost like with the uncapped year, or is it a year or 2 years that the Redskins and the Cowboys just loaded up a ton of contracts. I think we're going to see, a curveball kind of like that was in 2000. I say it was 13. I could be wrong. All right, caller, welcome to the cockpit. What's on your mind?
All right, so first of all, we got to start off with Jets, Jets, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like it.
Telling you right now. Also, I'm going to do a shout out to the Buffalo Mafia out there. I got to say, I'm a big fan of you guys' quarterback, Josh Allen, because honestly, after seeing him, how he plays, he's versatile, he's very charismatic, he's got a lot of energy. He reminds me of a Jamal Adams on the offensive side of the field. So I got to say to Buffalo, you made a great pick there, you guys.
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
What's on your mind? Any kind of Jet-related questions, or you got some Buffalo questions?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no, I got we got to start off with Jets, obviously. I got to say, like I said, I was hoping for a preseason. Great preseason. I don't care what anyone says how that score ended. Mm-hmm. For seeing the first string get on that field and Darnold go ahead and just, like I said before on my last talk, I was like, get rid of all those interceptions. It was like Darnold didn't even want to have those. He was just like, you can't have that. And just drive that ball. He gets on that field, he's like, I'm getting my touchdown, and coach says I'm done. At least I put the score on the board. That was what I was talking about. And when they put Manning out on the field, they were like, defense is like, no, Manning, we don't care who you are. We don't care about your name. Get out of here. You ain't Peyton.
I love your enthusiasm. I have to go to a comment mention right now. Stephen Engel, Becca, Ryan said he wants kids right away. So I don't know if Becca's watching the live stream right now in the other room, but not quite right away. I got a little bit of time. I'm going to be dirty 30 in November, so I got a little bit going on.
You got time. I didn't start until 32, and you saw a couple of my monsters come in just a little bit ago.
little bit of Bill's Mafia.
I without your permission, Ryan, I do apologize. Without your permission, I went over to the hashtag Nation. I posted in the community tab that I was here.
I like it.
They're filtering in right now.
Yeah,
so.
we're seeing some of the hashtag guys in the chat. I like it.
Play nice, Nation. Play nice, Nation.
I've always been a big person on seeing a little bit of hate between some.
You love the conflict. I know.
I love conflict. It's great. That's what makes sports fun. Like the best part of baseball was when the Yankees and Boston were like duking it out. When football was like, jacked up and all these different things, and like, I hate this person, Chad Ochocinco or Chad Johnson is throwing out all these things. You got Terrell Owens and Randy Moss mooning the crowds. Like, these things are like, this is what's fun. Like, people love to hate people, and like, this is like, it's a fun reason to do it. Now that everyone's friends, you don't get quite as much of it, and then everyone gets butthurt about, like, I don't know, stupid stuff.
Whatever. You use all day, burn your Red Sox, never wear them.
I like it. Dude,
Anyways,
do you have
all right, so
any questions you got for
go ahead, man. Go
Mario?
ahead. Do I have any questions about what?
Do you have any questions for Mario about Buffalo Nation?
Oh yeah, I was actually wondering. I didn't unfortunately get a chance to see Buffalo because I was so eager to keep track about the game for the Jets when their game start for their preseason. But I heard that there were a couple injuries, pro injuries that you guys got on your first strings. What happened there? I was just wondering.
A lot of the injuries that we've been having have been relegated to the offensive line. We picked up Adrian Waddle from New England. He ended up getting hurt for the season. We picked up EJ Gaines. Once again, he was already a Bill. Then he went to Cleveland. Now he's back as a Bill. He got hurt. He's done for the season. He's on IR. And as you guys know, the way the IR works, you can have a limited amount of players on the IR. It doesn't matter how many guys you designate as injured reserve. And that's what we're starting to shuffle a lot of guys on the offensive line, which is starting to worry me as far as the biggest problem the Bills had in 2018 was protecting Josh Allen. So in that respect, having those injuries on the line is a little concerning. You got Mitch Moore still in concussion protocol. They're just shuffling a bunch of guys, but that's the reason why Brandon Beane ended up going out and getting so many players, so many offensive linemen, more specifically, in the offseason to account for this. And rosters are at 90, so once the cuts come and, the way that it works out, I think the Bills will be okay. But we are, just like the Jets, just like probably every team in the NFL right now, they're suffering injuries in their camp, and they're just going to have to deal with that as well.
So who are you kind of hoping, like, I know this is, it's not kind of bad mouth, like, when you want a player to be injured, but, like, are you hoping, like, someone, like, takes their bit of time, a particular player right now that is on injury prone, that could take their time until maybe the season starts, like say, hey, don't rush yourself, because we definitely want you in particular back there in full 100% force. Like, which one out of those, anyone in particular on that stage for you?
The main guy on that is going to be Mitch Morse, the center, because he's going to have to make all the protection calls on that offensive line. He is the highest paid center in the NFL right now, and the Bills did that for a reason. Here's a guy that was working with Patrick Mahomes last year, and the guy threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. So now he comes over to the Bills. The Bills were able to sway him and bring him over. I'm sure the Andy Reid, Sean McDermott connection was pretty huge in that deal. So he comes over. He's been in concussion protocol. He's had a few concussions in the past. So that being said, he is one of the linchpins of that line. Now, not to say that the Bills line can't survive without him. I'm not saying that, but he's one guy that if he doesn't do anything this preseason and comes into week one, I'm fine with it. However, the communication has to be paramount, especially when you're facing the Jets defensive line like they're going to face in week one.
I see. Man, that makes a lot of sense. So are you hoping that this season for Josh Allen, that he's more prone to being trying to be as mobile as he was last year? Or do you kind of want to him stay focused to being in the pocket and such?
Well, I think it benefits him. All the things that he did last year benefits him this year in the fact that a lot of teams will not play as much man against him and turn their backs to him because he has the threat of running around there and making your life miserable. So what does that mean? They're going to play a lot more zone coverages against Allen, and they're going to try to keep him in the pocket. His legs effectively just slow down the rush naturally because they have to stay in their lanes so they can't get out of position. That being said, it's helping him in the fact having to read zone concepts. That's one of the things that I'm looking forward to what he's going to do in year two. I'm not expecting 4,000 yards passing out of the guy. I'm not expecting 30 touchdown passes. But if he progresses and he's at least average, in my estimation, average is a 3,500 yards, maybe 27 touchdowns. That coupled with the Bills defense they're coming into the season with should get them to double-digit wins. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying naturally what has happened in the NFL in recent years, if you have a quarterback that does that and does not turn the ball over, you're going to have double-digit wins. And if they can end up doing that, just the progression. I'm not expecting him to throw for 5,050 touchdowns and run for 1,000 yards. I'm not expecting anything ludicrous like that. But if he could just make little small strides here and there, I think he'd be good.
Yeah. So final question for you, man. What are your final thoughts on your scoreboard for you guys for this season? Hypothetically, just the ball out, seeing what you've seen so far from just the first preseason and what you've been hearing about training camp for you guys.
We have a lot of moving parts going on in this offense that have to gel and have to develop chemistry, and chemistry is not developed overnight. So as far as the defense is concerned, we really only lost one starter, which was Kyle Williams, and then we ended up drafting an Ed Oliver. So the defense itself seems to be poised to take control and be one of the elite defenses in the NFL. As far as the offense is concerned, the defense is going to have to generate some turnovers early in the season for this offense to give them a couple extra possessions in order to figure it out. Once they figure it out, then the sky's the limit for this ball club. And like I said, I talk to Ryan about this all the time. It seems like the Jets are on the same path. Although the Jets have an offensive-minded coach, the Bills have a defensive-minded coach. So in that respect, I see these two teams going toward, and I could see 2023, 2024 AFC Championship games are going to be decided by the Jets and the Bills.
I truly believe that, man. Best of luck to you guys in your seasons. Of course, no harsh feelings when the Jets knock you guys out. Best of luck to the Jets, the best team in the world and AFC. We're going to kick Brady's butt and knock Belichick off his feet. Let's go, Jets. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate the call. I love the enthusiasm. It makes a lot of sense. I think the Bills and the Jets, we got to knock off Belichick. The enemy of my enemy, what is it? The enemy of the enemy is my friend.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes. So the Bills right now, the way it stands, we're friendly. If it works out where one of us could knock off those hated Patriots, I hope it's the Jets. But if it's the Bills, I'm okay with that. It's kind of like
Ryan, you're getting awfully close to the screen. Do you want to? You got something you got to say? You want to have this?
Zoom in.
Call from
Bobby.
Robbie, what's
To
up? Welcome to the
accept, press
cockpit.
1.
What you got in mind? What's on your mind, brother?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm a big Giant fan. My brother's a Jet fan,
Okay.
and we're going down to the game on November 10th. Can you make it, just Puck?
I like it. I want to go. I'm not sure what's
Yeah.
going on right now. So there's a part of me, I'm at this weird dilemma. I think I'm going to go
Uh-huh.
to the Jets home opener against the Bills, but I really want to
Oh, that's going to be a good game.
I'm
That's
excited.
going to be a good game.
The issue
Yeah.
that I'm dealing with internally is I want to run live streams during the game or right after post game, and if I go to the game, I cannot stream like during the game or after the game because the way Sportscaster works is it doesn't have an Android app. I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, I see.
So it's a little frustrating, but I want to go to the Bills game. I want to see a bunch of Jet fans, so I'm going to try and go to that game. And I'd like to,
Yeah.
at least for a little bit, swap out my intro with fans that are just going Jets and like have fun with that.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
know
would be really
Gangy David's going down.
Yeah.
And then, Chris the Entertainer.
They're all going to. Oh man, okay, maybe we'll get
And
some kind
Mr.
of
Mad
big meetup
Dog.
then. We'll have to get some kind
Yep.
of meetup then, and like get all of us all fired up, and like
Yeah.
see what goes on. I'm okay with that, and I would put some money, maybe not money, but I'll put I'll put some money on. I don't think the Giants are going to win many games, so I think.
No.
That's
I think
just
it's
it.
going to be a different way.
How do you feel about
I
Daniel
think the
Jones?
Giants are going to be 11-5.
What? Really?
Yes.
Okay. I like the confidence. Now, is that 11-5?
I think Eli's going to have a good year this year.
Is that Eli 11-5, or is that Daniel Jones 11-5, or a combination of the two?
No. I think it's going to be Eli starting.
Okay.
But I think Eli's going to have a good year because we have a better offensive line now, better than we did last year.
Yeah.
And then we got our running back is awesome.
Yeah, Barkley's.
And
probably
we
the
got
best
rid of the
receiver.
Diva on our team. I can't stand him.
Now,
I don't like water. I don't drink water. I got to sit on the bench for a while. I got to drink water.
I don't
Right?
know. I don't know who you guys are going to throw to. I think Ingram's going to be a big part of that offense. They're definitely
he's
putting a lot of
good.
chips. They're putting a lot of chips in the Saquon Barkley train. I mean,
Mhm.
you're missing Golden Tate for 4 games unless he can appeal that suspension.
Yeah, that
Not-
stunk. I
That's
like
BS.
him, but
he
he wants a baby. Give him a break. Leave
That's
the
just
guy
the thing.
alone.
You should not. The NFL has the worst drug policy of any of the major sports.
I know.
And
Stupid.
Tate shouldn't be suspended. But then you lose
No.
Shepard, and you guys lost
Mm.
one other. Didn't you guys lose 3 guys all at once?
Oh, Coleman.
Dude.
Yeah, the guy got Coleman.
Dude, that's just it. You guys are missing a bunch of weapons. Now,
Well, we had that guy from Detroit we picked up too. The little guy. He looked pretty good on the other game.
now see
The
that.
running
See,
back.
now, are you super high on Daniel Jones scoring on the Jets' second-team defense and fourth-string safety? Because that was something that I was.
No, well, he's a lot better than the guy that went 0 for 5, and everybody got mad at him. On the other team.
Yeah,
I forgot the other team's name.
I see.
What?
I think the.
Remember they?
You're a big Giants fan. I appreciate it. I like having Giants fans in the conversation because they bring in a different side of the New York / New Jersey, I guess. For all you Buffalo fans that are.
Can I talk to the other guy for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I talk?
Say something for the Buffalo
Hey,
Nation.
hashtag sports.
Yeah,
How you
buddy.
doing? Hey, are you missing that crazy guy from the Raiders that you guys used to have?
Used to have. They never had him.
Yeah, Carnito, right?
Oh, dude, I was thinking. I thought you were talking about friggin' Brown.
Antonio Brown? Who's he talking about?
No. The big defensive guy, Carnito, who punched the guy in the Jets in the face. Remember that time?
IK and Impali?
IKN and Polly?
No, Carnito.
I think you're making up words. That's not a name.
No.
Are you
No, he
watching
was on
TNA
the
right
Buffalo
now?
Bills.
What are you doing?
I have no idea who you're talking about, and that's probably. 'Cause
Was
I'm
it
not a Bills fan.
Carnito? I don't know his last name. He was on Buffalo, then they traded him.
Who the Bills trade?
They didn't. He punched somebody in the face in the Buffalo, the quarterback in the face.
You're talking about IK. It's got to be IK.
It's got by IKN and Polly punched Geno Smith in the face, and then Rex Ryan ended up signing him like a week later.
Yeah, that's
I-
the guy. Yeah.
team.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got the wrong name. He went.
Yeah,
to
I don't miss
You
him at
miss
all.
him?
No, he wasn't
can
very
I-
good.
Yeah, he's a
Can I
little
stay?
strange
I
in the
love
head, isn't he?
I love the enthusiasm and optimism that you have as far as your Giant. Well, I just think they have too many missing pieces. I mean, I believe in Barkley. I love Barkley. However, I don't know if he's enough to sustain an 11-5 record. I'm sorry to disagree, but that's what I think.
Oh,
Well,
is
that's
he-
my
hold on.
thought.
Is he
That's
talking
my
about
thinking.
Rich Young Incognito?
Well, we come from.
Oh God,
We got the-
Incognito when he
That's
threw a
the
weed
guy
at
with-
somebody.
We got the
Incognito.
chat talking Incognito.
Yeah, I bet you don't miss him. That's the guy.
Incognito is
That's good.
about 5 minutes away from being suspended for life from the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a crazy dude.
So
I
no,
saw
I
him
don't
on
miss
the
him at
other-
all.
His thing.
Boom! Giant fan has been ejected. Boom! Out of there. No, sorry, dude. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Call in next week. But you've been ejected from the cockpit. IK and Paul.
I think it was who was it? Someone said, "Mario, you got to stop drinking energy drinks." I wish that was energy drink. This is my after 8 o'clock drink. This is what I got right now. So
I had like a 20-ounce Red Bull earlier today, and I was like, I bought so we went down the shore last like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've had this Red Bull sitting in my fridge at work, and we bought 4 20-ounce Red Bulls to have Tito's and Red Bulls for the bunch of us, and we had a bunch come back, and I was like, I can't just drink a 20-ounce Red Bull, like the normal one's like 8 ounces. I'm still cracked out of my mind from earlier today.
yeah, all right, real quick before we get to
Call from.
Christian.
Christian, pause real
I'm
quick.
gonna get you
Christian, pause real quick.
down there.
Talk about.
All right, brother.
Say it again.
Head down there and
yeah.
leave a like
Quick
if you're
question for
hashtag
you
Nation
both.
you came in.
Real quick, Christian, before you get going. Mario says leave
Okay.
a like in the comments down below. If you're from hashtag Nation, Jet Nation, I want to see some more likes. We got 57 people in here. We only got 30 likes. I know one of you Buffalo guys dislike this thing. I'm a little upset. I'm a little sad. I like you guys.
Don't put that on the Nation, man.
Hurts a little bit. All right, Christian, what's on your mind, dude?
Hey, quick question for both of you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Who has the better opportunity to win quarterbacks, Sam Darnold or Josh Allen?
So let's bring in a conversation that we talked about on our last chat, Mario. We were talking about which quarterback is more likely to get to 4,000 yards first. And it's an interesting question because Sam Darnold, I believe, has the passing ability to get to 4,000 first, but I think Josh Allen has a very sneaky ability to do 3,500 yards passing and 500 yards rushing. And theoretically, if the Jets' offensive line is not up to par, if Darnold misses a game or two, there's a real possibility that Allen could be, in line to have a better statistical season than Darnold if injury plays a factor.
Yeah, if you're talking about all things considered with the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, and if the players that are we're talking about, we have injuries on our offensive line, you guys have injuries in camp. If those are able to manifest and those players are able to play, and obviously brings an interesting question. I'm in 100% agreement that 4,000 passing yards, I would give the edge to Darnold. But if we're talking about 4,000 yards rushing and receiving as far as an offensive player is concerned, Allen versus Darnold, I kind of have Allen ballparked around 32, 33, maybe 3,400 yards, and I don't know if he's going to run enough to get 6 or 7. So the other thing that's intertwined in there, and you know this as well as I do, Ryan, a team that has a 4,000-yard passer doesn't necessarily have a winning record.
That's correct. I mean, you look at Stafford. Look at Stafford. He's had a losing record, or at least not a very good record. And he's been throwing for 5,000 yards. Like, the dude's, going off. If Allen has to throw for 4,000 yards, I don't believe Buffalo is going to be in good shape. I think if the Jets are throwing for 4,000 yards, I think that could be all right. Like, I think there's a different dynamic going on with both. I think it also depends. If Allen's going to be running, you want to have him get down. You want to see him, not take big shots. We've seen a lot of the guys from Buffalo, from that Carolina kind of mindset. You don't want to see Allen turn into that Cam Newton where he's just getting blasted, time and time again. I think that the injury risk from a style of play is a factor with Allen. Overall, I think that's kind of a concern that you need to have as a Buffalo fan.
Yeah, I have a couple baseball players working with Allen right now, teaching him how to slide. Stop doing that stuff. Like he even did it a couple times in the game where he's I don't want to call it hero ball because it seems like he's matured a little bit more.
It is. I mean, he jumps over players. He's just like diving while he's
like if he gets flushed out of the pocket, there's certain plays you just got to eat it and say, listen, I'm going to live to play another day. He'll run completely up to the sideline and then try to make a throw before he throws it out, and he's taking unnecessary hits, and I understand and I get that. And just to back your point, Matt Stafford ended up throwing for 4,967 yards one year, and they went 4-12. Detroit went 4-12. So, like I said, 4,000 yards, almost 5,000 yards, and the guy had a losing 4 wins that season. So, as far as that goes, if Allen does, I'll just make a bold prediction like this: if Allen doesn't throw for 4,000 yards, the Bills will have a winning record because he's not asked to do that. If Darnold has 4,000 yards, I believe that Darnold has to have 4,000 for the Jets to have a winning record. And I don't know if you're in agreement with me on that, but that's my prediction going into the season if I were to analyze both Darnold and Allen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if you look at Darnold and you look at the Jets' offensive line, we're not necessarily built to run the ball. We're built to have that kind of almost like the Patriot kind of offense where you run the ball by passing it with a short passing game inside that 5-yard range. Like I think you're going to see a lot of Bell in the flat, Crowder 5 yards out, those kind of plays, like maybe just over the linebacker, kind of like you saw with the Gronkowski. With Allen, it feels like you guys are building your team more towards the run, specifically for the running backs, to kind of take a little bit of pressure off Allen. And then that play action is going to open up the ability for him to just launch it over the top. I think that's going to be a big thing for Buffalo.
Yeah, I just saw Doug Lass in the comment section. We've been going at it all night, me and Doug. It's pretty good. He said Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not of the proponent of Lamar. You can't say okay because they run and they're able to make plays with their feet. I understand that and I get that. However, Allen could throw a ball through a brick wall at 10 yards away, and I don't think Lamar Jackson can do that. So I mean, that's just it kind of. If there's one thing that irks me as far as a Bills fan goes is when they put both of those guys in the same sentence, and I'm like, I kind of cringe a little bit. I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's just it.
Like if they put Darnold and Rosen, it'd be like if they put Darnold and Rosen in the same sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because you look at their college careers and you think Darnold, Rosen, similar Cali quarterbacks, those kind of things. I think when people put Lamar Jackson and Allen in the same conversation, you see a running style quarterback, and you see a guy who's been challenged with accuracy. But I don't put Allen and Lamar Jackson in the same real ballpark. I see Allen more as a Cam Newton who's going to struggle a little bit with accuracy, but he's got the running power and the build to really take those kind of hits. Lamar is a running quarterback who can barely play quarterback. I mean, you look at what they did. They got rid of Crabtree. They got rid of some of their receivers. They're bulking up with Ingram. They have guys that they're invested into the run. They're going the opposite way that the entire NFL is going. The entire NFL is going passing, and they're going running. So it's going to be interesting to see from that perspective. Now, I do think the Bills are kind of going with a running offense, but not to the extent that the Ravens are at all.
Oh my God, the Ravens! To predict that.
UFC Jaguar, welcome to the chat, brother.
Oh,
Sorry.
There he is. No, I seen him earlier too. And if you want to talk about Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh's comments about he's going to run the ball 10 to 14, however many times a game, you better have 2 or 3 backups, because in the NFL, these guys will kill you, and he doesn't have the frame. I mean, it would be risky to say that Cam Newton would be running that type of offense, running 14, 15 times a game. I mean, and Cam's 260 pounds.
Mario, say it again. You cut out the last 5 seconds. My internet's shitting out.
I think it says my internet's going out a little bit. But I mean, you want to talk about if you had to run that type of offense that Baltimore's going to run with Cam Newton?
Yeah,
it would be even tough to do that, because even though Cam Newton's a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just it. Caller, any questions that you want to talk about jet-wise as far as the last few days or week that has happened with the Jets?
No, but I did want you guys to address the question regarding who wins the Super Bowl between Sam Darnold and Josh Allen first.
Ooh, I really believe Darnold is the truth. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league. I don't say that about any Jet quarterbacks ever. I didn't say it about Geno. I didn't say it about Sanchez. I didn't say it about Pennington. I didn't say it about any of these guys. But I really believe, you look at Darnold, I think the dude's going to be a top 5 quarterback. Allen, I think, has the traits to be a top 5 quarterback, but I don't quite believe it yet. And it's probably because I need to see a little bit more of the accuracy side of things from him. So, I mean, of course, I'm biased. I'm sure he's going to say at Josh Allen. I'm going to say Sam Darnold. I think he'll win one on his rookie contract. I think Allen might have to wait till contract number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as the
Bills,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Boom! Ejected from the cockpit. Mario, say what you're saying.
Oh, no. What I was just going to say is that to ask me whether or not Darnold or Allen's going to get to a Super Bowl first is asking me whether or not what type of doctor you want my kid to be, and he's 7.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. You're so young going into
how that's going to play out.
Yeah, you're so young going into this. There's so much that could possibly happen. There's, the threat of injury. Are these coaches going to actually be around for the duration of their rookie contracts? Are they going to be able to surround him with talent? Are they going to whiff on draft picks? Draft picks, statistically, even a first-round pick has a 50% chance of being successful. So there's really not – there's a lot of question marks that go into it. Whether he's high on Allen or I'm high on Darnold, it's tough to really say at this point who's going to win that ring first.
Call from
Austin.
Austin, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit. Where are you calling from?
Ohio.
Ohio! This is Drew Carey. What's up?
Hey, I have 3 questions. One for Buffalo here.
Go for it.
Do you think, should go after Trent Williams?
Will Buffalo go after Trent Williams?
It has been talked about here in the
Yeah.
716 in Western New York about going after Trent Williams, and I think that because of what the patchwork the Bills have done so far, in order to get guys just kind of like more depth signings rather than starters. I think they're kind of out of the running in that. Although anything's possible in the NFL. So,
What's your second
honestly,
question?
Okay.
Or well, no,
think
go
we
on.
should-
Let's continue with what you were saying.
All right, I think the Jets should sign Eric Berry and then move Jamal Adams to corner. Since Tremaine Johnson is hurt,
That's man. I don't.
we should.
I have a
as much
hard
as possible.
time.
Do you guys agree?
I have a hard time with the Jets wanting to move Jamal to corner. Now, I think Jamal can play it. I think May could play it too. I think when you look at the Jets defense, we are versatile in that respect because Adams can really play anyone. Adams is a pass rusher. Adams is a linebacker. Adams is a free safety, a strong safety, a corner. He can play any one of those positions, so you might as well utilize him when you need to. But man, Eric Berry. Yeah, you know what? If we could do it, give it a shot. Why not? I mean, it would be something I'd love to see. I would like to see the Jets go after Trent Williams, especially.
I mean, it's a high risk, low reward. I mean,
yeah.
All right, last question for you guys. How do you think we take our AFC East crown back from New England? Both of you, the Bills and the Jets.
So
how do you take them back?
So how do the Jets and Bills?
How do you take back the division?
How do we take back the division as either the Bills or the Jets? Now I'll answer for the Jets first. I think what's going to have to happen is Quinnen Williams is going to have to come up big. You're going to have him, Leonard, and even Jamal coming up the middle. You could talk Mosley too and create pressure in the A-gap for Brady. He's not going to have that safety valve of Gronkowski this year, at least not until the end of the season when he probably will eventually come back. I'm holding on to Gronk on my fantasy team because I don't believe that he's fully retired yet. But I think I don't want to say Brady has to retire because that sucks to have to feel that way. But I think you're going to have to put pressure on Brady.
Right.
I think you're going to have to knock around the receivers. And I think Poole is going to be a big factor on Edelman. I think Adams is going to be big time at the line of scrimmage. I think we're going to have to shut down their running game with Sony Michel. Man, it's going to be Darnold taking that next step if the Jets want to
Here's
compete.
the thing. The Patriots have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. The Jets need to have a little bit better offensive line if they want to compete in the National Football League. Now, I'm not saying the Jets offensive line, and I think even Brandon Shell will be a good player in the future. But the Jets offensive line is not in contention at this moment, but I think we'll win the division first before Buffalo. That doesn't mean I'm not saying that Buffalo can't win.
Yeah, I think the Jets and Buffalo are probably in a very similar spot as far as team building goes. I do think Buffalo has a little more depth than the Jets do across the board. I think there's some top-end talent that the Jets have. Like, I think Robbie Williams is, pretty good as far. Like, I think our skill position players are probably on the higher end compared to Buffalo, but I think Buffalo's overall defense and I think their offensive line is going to be better than the Jets. So it's kind of they're close in that respect, but I think it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to depend probably on how the quarterbacks develop and how how the season unfolds. I mean, you look at the Bills' schedule. The first 4 weeks of the Bills' schedule compared to the first 4 weeks of the Jets' schedule is very favorable. The Jets are coming into a gauntlet. If the Jets don't win against Buffalo week 1, there's a real shot we go 0-3 and are just out of playoff contention from the very beginning, and that is a very scary thing as a Jet fan to have to think about. With the Bills, there's a good chance they could be, what were we talking about? 2-1 going into the Patriot game week 4?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm going to say something that's not very favorable with a lot of people because I see a lot of things going on in the chat and this and there. I don't want Brady hurt.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to see that. I want to see it's kind of like you want to beat someone at their best. Not like I would like to see Darnold or Allen beat Brady while he's still good. I don't want to see him how the Dolphins won the AFC East in 08.
Yeah, I don't want him hurt because then he becomes a martyr.
Exactly.
And then he becomes a guy that everyone's like. Even if you play man under 2 deep against Brady, game's over. Game's over. That's what the Giants have done in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And everyone else doesn't have the horses to do that. Jets are starting to build the pieces. The Bills, I think, have a little bit more of the pieces, like you said, to do that as far as Brady. He goes guy by blitzing him because he knows all the answers to the test already. You don't benefit yourself by blitzing him. You got to
Yeah, I agree. I just
Say,
kicked
man,
our
he's
buddy off.
47 years old. Let him throw over you.
Yeah, I just kicked our buddy off the cockpit. He was starting to break up a little bit. I apologize.
Okay.
But yes, I love having people in the cockpit. This is great. This is fun. I like this. This is something that, like, I feel like the Hashtag Nation and the Jet Nation, we bond a little bit over the Patriot hate, and it's definitely nice, like, it's almost soothing. It's like talking to a therapist. Someone who's a neutral party that feels kind of the same way I feel.
Here's what it's like. It's like two brothers that fight, but if somebody else fights one of the brothers, they'll both go after him.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That's how it works.
Who we got?
Call from
Eddie from North Carolina.
to accept.
What's up, North Carolina? Welcome to the cockpit.
Yo, Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Not too much. What's on your mind? Oh, no, you're breaking up.
Oh, well,
Say it
first
again.
off, they're not moving. They're not going to move Jamal to cornerback. So, fuck that.
Yeah, I would be pretty
They'll figure out
surprised if they
something
did it. I think what's going to wind up happening, you'll see a little bit of him filtered in there, but there's no way he's going to spend, 80% of the snaps out there. He might do, like, I could see maybe 20% of the snaps at corner in some capacity, but that's just because they're flexing him into different positions. I don't know. I can't see a full-time role for Jamal.
I just don't think you take your best defensive player and make him go out of position. To me, that's just ridiculous. There's way many other options.
We'll
have gone from like the 90-man roster down to 75, down to 55, and then the final 53. This year, just boom. After that fourth preseason game, everyone gets cut from 90 to a ton of talent out there available. We're number 3 in the waiver wire because of our draft position. Good done. So I don't even think we should worry about that.
I agree. I think there's a little bit of, let's wait and see, because you're losing like 40 players for 32 teams. There's going to be a lot of players hitting the free agent market. There's going to be corners. There's going to be offensive linemen. There's going to be, if you want a tight end to replace Herndon for the first 4 weeks, those things are going to be options. And I think you're going to see the Jets bring in some offensive line help. I think we're definitely going to bring in some cornerback help. I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't. Now, I think we're going to give some of our younger guys a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if Tremaine doesn't play till the regular season at this point. I mean, he knows how to keep his body in shape. He's not going to gain anything from the preseason, really. I don't know.
He knows how to play his position. He needs to just sit in that hot tub and ice tub string that he pulled or strained. I don't think he pulled it. I think he just strained it. But
yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it sounds like
any
he's.
of their guys get tweaked.
I don't know if the whole video chat.
They don't put these casts in until they're ready to go. I mean,
you cut in a little bit, but I don't.
May off of the POP list.
There we go. Yeah, May coming off of the PUP list is huge. You get a little extra help in the secondary with our cornerbacks being a little bit shaken up. I mean, when you think of May having the ability to roam as a free safety, having Jamal up around the line of scrimmage, or even playing corner, if that's what we decide to kind of do with him, at least for a little extent. I know a lot of people, when they're saying Jamal go to corner, they're saying sign Eric Berry to play safety because Berry may not be playing corner or may not be playing some of the positions we need him to play, but he can play safety real well. And if Adams can play at 80% of what a good corner plays at, that's probably better than anything you're picking up off the cut or waiver wire. So I think there's something to be said for it, but I wouldn't want to necessarily lose Adams' threat at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they got Ryan Khalil. He's going to be practicing full time tomorrow, starting in.
Yeah, I saw that. He was in pads today, I think.
I was watching Gaze's press conference. So they're going to have Khalil in. But Brian Winters got tweaked.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about I don't know how to feel about Brian Winters like getting hurt. Brian Winters always feels like the guy who like, oh, he could have had a great season, but he just had that one injury. Like I think it was last year or 2 years ago, he like had a partially torn pec or something like that, or maybe it was like it was some kind of like, or maybe it was an abdominal like tear, and he played all season with it. And a lot of Jet fans were like, oh, you know what, he played like but if he was healthy, he would have been all right.
Well, the guy who used to play, they used to shoot his leg up with Novocaine so he could walk. I mean, the guy was a freaking disaster, pain-wise. I mean, he was still a freaking animal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was hurt. He played that one season, the whole season hurt. I mean, because who else were they going to put in?
Yeah, that's just
You got to do what you got to do.
You look at now one person I'm excited about who we haven't really talked about.
Straight out.
How do you
Gladiators.
How do you feel about Chuma Edoga? Edoga was the third-round pick that the Jets picked up this year, tackle from USC. He played with Sam at USC. He had 4 different offensive coordinators while he was there. Or, I don't know, was it offensive coordinators or offensive line coach? Whatever it was. He had 4 different coaches trying to teach him different stuff. And he played pretty well in the preseason game. Now, could you imagine, Winters getting knocked out, not being able to play? Maybe Shell is our right tackle and Edoga slides into right guard. I think Edoga's a chess piece that could be very interesting if he can develop just a little bit faster than you might otherwise expect an offensive lineman that's a rookie to develop.
Well, what about the kid that they had playing center who
Harrison, right?
Khalil will slide over the guard?
Yeah, I think you can move Harrison.
Yeah,
to the guard.
isn't he? Can he just slide right over the guard? I mean, he was.
I didn't notice anything jarring from him in the preseason as far as like blown, assignments. So if he could slide over to right guard and give Winters some time, you have Osemele on the left-hand side. Beacham's been playing all right. The Jets' offensive line is not terrible. As long as Khalil can stay healthy, and you got a little bit of luck on your side as far as a dude coming out of retirement or a rookie having a better season than you would expect. I mean, I think the Jets' O-line could be better than we expect.
God, I would love to get that tackle from the Skins if we could get him, but who knows? May have to give up too much talent to get him. Yeah. I mean, it would be freaky if they said, "How about Jachai Polite for that tackle?" But that's short term.
I wouldn't do it. Look, Polite is like
because once he figures out the playbook.
I like Jachai Polite
a
lot. I think I wouldn't give him up, but with Trent Williams,
about him, we think that this is the kid who's going to develop over time.
Sure. If I was Trent Williams, or if I was the Redskins, and I don't know what they need. I'm not a Redskins fan. I haven't really dove into their needs and whatnot. But if I'm a Jet fan, I'm pretty confident Leonard Williams is going to walk at the end of this year, and we're not going to get anything. We might get a compensation pick for him if the Jets don't go on a spending spree like they might do. We may wash out the entirety of the compensation that we could get in the comp formula. I would be open to trading Leonard Williams for Trent Williams, because I'd rather bolster our
and a draft pick.
And you think we would get a draft pick for Leonard, or you think we'd have to give up a draft pick to get Trent Williams? What are you? Which way were you kind of leaning on that?
Hell no. Leonard Williams is a premier tackle.
Yeah,
every team has to double him. Every team.
I like him.
The GMs of the other teams know how good Leonard is.
I think that's right. I think Leonard is definitely. He's been undervalued as a Jet right now because he hasn't had the help on the offensive line. You look at Richardson, who was playing linebacker the last time he was with us. You had Muhammad Wilkerson, who just mailed it in. He gave up. I think this is the year we're going to see a lot out of Leonard Williams, and it may turn into a thing where the Jets wind up trying to trade him near the deadline because there's not as much need for for him to learn the playbook. He can play in a scheme if he's traded halfway through the season, and that could be a thing. I'd be open to that. Now, I want to keep Leonard Williams. I don't want to see us get rid of him. I just have a hard time seeing the Jets paying him as much as they're going to need to pay him.
I hate this.
Brother, I love you, but you're cutting in and out. I apologize. Mario, what are your thoughts on Leonard Williams and the potential of him not coming back to the Jets? How much do you guys fear Leonard Williams when you go against him?
you got all the time in that defense. The guy was picked where he was for a reason. The only thing that's that feared. I mean, I'll ask you the same question. Do you have a guy? Do you guys fear Jerry against the Jets with Jerry Hughes? Do you guys fear him? I guess that would be the great question, because Leonard Williams, you look at him, Leonard Williams and Jerry Hughes paid players for the Jets. So there's a reason for that, because those guys are very impact players. Grandpa Mark edge.
Grandpa Mark, I'm going to put you on hold for a second because I want to answer Mario's question. As far as the Bills' defense of guys that I've been afraid of or guys that I've had to be concerned about over the last few years, I'm definitely glad that Williams is no longer on your team and is retired, because he has been a wrecking ball on that defensive line for years. So I'm glad he's not there. I mean, we were not able to run on that guy at all. So I'm hoping. Now I know you guys have Oliver, so it could totally just reset the pendulum here. But I'm hoping that Bell and some of our guys can run on that defense now that Williams is not there. Grandpa Mark, welcome to the cockpit. Dad?
Hello, Ryan.
What's up, dude? How goes it?
Nothing much. So did you guys come up with
what the bet's going to be? Is that what the question was?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if it's my internet connection. Yes. It's got to be my internet connection, because I have stuff going on. I got windows open everywhere, and I got calls and a chat going, so I don't know if that's screwing things up. But I think as far as a bet goes for Hashtag Nation and the Jets, Cockpit Nation, I think one person said we should swap logos. If we change our channel's logo.
How long? For a week?
I don't know. We'll call it a week. I think that's fair. I think that's interesting. It would be a little weird to try and put videos out with a weird. They're like, wait a second, I didn't subscribe to this Jet channel, or I didn't subscribe to this Hashtag Bills channel. It'd be interesting. I could do that. I would do. Oh God. Maybe I'd have to make a Bills video, and you'd have to make a Jets video or something like that. I don't know. We should put this to a vote in the comment sections. Grandpa Mark, do you have any ideas what we could do for week 1?
Yeah. What? First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Why don't you get to what what mayors do during the Super Bowl? Seeing how it's a New York City team. You live in Buffalo, or you're around Buffalo?
Oh yeah, he's up in that neck of the woods.
Okay, all right. Because I used to go. I went to school in Michigan, and I had friends that went to University of Buffalo. I used to go there all the time. Is there still a wings place there called Duff's?
Oh yeah,
Mark. I have to interrupt. V-Man 29397 said, "Paint your face the color of the opposing team." So maybe we have to make a video. Fun story, by the way, and I apologize for breaking this up.
Okay,
I got pulled over going to a Jets game back in 2007, I think it was, or I think it was 2007. It was before we had Favre, and I'm going to the game, and I have green and white face paint on. I said, "No." Of course I'm going to the game. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's just like, all right, just keep it under 70. I was like, I appreciate it. I would definitely. I think that's a good one. I think V-Man's onto something. I would paint myself blue, red, white, and blue, or maybe have Bill stickers or something like that on for a Jet video that I have to make after the game. If you guys do a green and white face paint kind of thing.
Right. And I was gonna say, I was saying, there's a famous place. And Mario said he knows about it. There's a famous wing place called Duff's. How about if the Jets win, he's got to wings, and if if the Bills win, you got to like send them a New York City cheesecake.
So if the Bills win, I got to send him something Jet related. If the Jets win, he's got to send me something Bills related. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
I gotta send him some Duff's wings. I gotta send you some Duff's wings.
Yeah, no, well,
I'm gonna send you like
he's
inflatable
got to
Snooki
send
or
you.
something like
Did
that.
you ever?
Go on, Mark. Sorry, I cut you off.
That I would make because Duff's has I'm breaking up, huh?
Yeah, well, I think it's just my internet connection. I'm catching
I
every
got
other
it.
word. I got you though. Duff's has incredible wings, and myself needs to eat those wings because the Jets are going to beat down Buffalo week 1. So I will thoroughly accept your gracious donation of wings
Right.
to the Jet Nation cockpit. I like the face paint idea because that's something that like doesn't require
Right.
postage.
I got one for you.
All right.
Yeah, I got one up the street, conflicting with the phone call.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Can you still hear me? All right.
I can hear you.
Okay. Right now, okay, it's
Gotcha.
at New York. Okay, so the Bills are at the Jets. It's going to be already at a disadvantage. So what we'll have to do is if the
All right, we're breaking up a little bit.
The,
I'm gonna
in
stop
New
the
York.
calls. I apologize, Grandpa Mark. I love you. Go on, Mario. Say it again. I'm going to see if maybe our connection's going to be a little bit better now that we don't have phone calls coming in.
yeah, it was just cut. It was just cut.
It could be because my
Now they came up. What a
yeah, I'm breaking up a little bit. I think it's probably because I'm doing a little bit much on this side, but we'll give it a go. So, what would you say if
that's fine.
what kind of bet do you think we have to do between each other?
Okay, so here's how it works. If the Bills lose, if the Jets win, basically, if the Jets
Okay.
win, I will wear a Darnold jersey to the game.
Okay, to the Jets Bills game in Buffalo.
Bills in Buffalo. I will. If the Jets win Week 1, I will wear a Darnold
Okay.
jersey. If the Bills win at some point prior to Week 17,
Okay.
you New York City with an Allen jersey.
I have to go into New York City, or I have to go to a Jet game with an Allen jersey on.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense to go to to wear an Allen jersey to a game where the
Where they're not playing.
Bills are on New York City with an Allen jersey on.
Okay. How about this? What day is the Jets Bills game in Buffalo? That's the last game of the season, so it's got to be like the beginning of January or the end of December.
No.
I mean, I'll look it up real quick. Because I was going to say
for the Buffalo Bills, December 29th.
December 29th. Okay. I'm going to have to clear this with the fiance. But if the Jets win Week 1, you wear a Darnold jersey to that game. If the Bills win, I will come up to Buffalo and I will wear an Allen jersey to the Buffalo Jet game.
Oh.
Right?
I like it.
That's a little interesting. I got to clear it with the significant other because I might not be allowed to do that.
Definitely got to clear.
What was another one? Make a video of Brady being sacked to. I don't know what you're saying, B-Man. I apologize. I think that
Brady being sacked to the
1812 Overture. I don't know. Is that a song? I don't know.
I have to see what it was. I think I've seen that before, though.
I'm going to have to Google that and figure out what it is. It feels weird to be in a Jets live chat, go Bills, outside looking in.
Oh.
Dude, it's okay. Dude, I got no hate towards the Bills
Tarkovsky.
fans. I like you guys coming over here. I just like... Dude, we try to cross-pollinate between Jets and Giant fans. I encourage the Jet fans to go over to #Nation and #sports over there and really like pay attention to what the Bills are doing because it helps you bring a little bit of knowledge into the Jets-Bills games. And the same thing with the Bills fans coming over here. I like to drop some knowledge on everyone. I occasionally have my rant and like I run out of steam and I might say some stupid stuff, but it's all part of the cockpit.
Yes, yes.
Guys, if you haven't
Yeah.
subscribed to
That'd be
Hashtag
fun. So,
Nation, go subscribe to them. If you haven't followed us on Sportscaster, I got like 3 followers on Sportscaster. I haven't done anything yet. Becca's one of them, you're one of them, and I think Nick or whoever the main Sportscaster guy is. I got 3 guys over there. You guys could be one of the top 5 followers on the cockpit in Sportscaster. Just click the link in the description. See? You guys could be on my good list. I'll shout you out. If you follow me, I'll shout you out.
Love it. So, I mean, we came on tonight to talk about the kicker, and we ended up going over all.
Not talking about kickers at all.
It was awesome.
Oh yeah, half the time when I make things and like I put a thumbnail together, I'm like, oh, kicking situation. Didn't bring it up at all. I mean, it was glossed over kind of. Now I'm excited. I think we talked about it with David a little bit. I like. We'll get into it, I guess. So we got Taylor Bertolet. We signed, I guess, yesterday or 2 days ago, because Catanzaro retired on Friday, the day after the Jets and who the hell did we play? The Jet Giant game, because he missed 2 point-after attempts. And Bertolet last year was with the Jets. He was 4 for 4 on field goals and 3 for 4 on point-afters. So it's someone that the Jets fans kind of understand. A lot of us wanted to keep Jason Myers, but a lot of us want to bring in Ross Martin, dude that we had last year as well. So he's still unsigned. Is there someone that you know, as far as kickers go, Mario, that the Jets can bring in and try to compete for this kicking position? Who would you think they could? Who do you think we could go with?
I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of putting you on the spot. Not that you guys are looking at kickers.
You try to look. I think he'd love to sit in New York and drink a few beers. I think he'd be.
Dude, I like it.
Yeah, I'm not really up on the kicker game.
Sync the video so Brady gets hit when the cannons go. I like it. V-Man's donated like a solid $5.99 that is going to be how I fund my Arnold Palmer 99-cent can addiction. Do you guys have those up by you? What's something weird up in Buffalo
Hilarious
that you guys do?
right now.
What do you guys do up in Buffalo that like I feel like you guys got some weird stuff up there. You guys are almost Canadian.
What do we have in Buffalo? Willis McGahee when it comes to that, because he has no idea what to do up in Buffalo. We got a bunch of stuff to do, man. I mean, most of it's eating. I know that.
Well, you gotta eat because you guys are in the frozen tundra. You gotta put on your winter weight. At least down here we have like, I don't know. It sucks. New York City's rough. I don't like going into New York City because when you go in, especially in the winter, it's like a zillion degrees below zero because when the wind gets whipping behind between the buildings, it's not fun. I've only been up to Buffalo once. I went to Niagara Falls. It was probably in like, oh god, when would it have been? Maybe early May. I think it was spring break, like when I might have been in elementary school at that point. But I've been to Buffalo once. I've heard great things. I have friends that have a lot of friends in Buffalo that like Buffalo games because, as you know, I went to Binghamton. I was, just like 2.5 hours east of you guys. There's a lot of Bills fans up there. So, I don't know. I like Buffalo. I want to try some of your wings. I always used to say, could you imagine if, like, Buffalo's had wings? Like how big would that wing be? Or it's kind of like chicken fingers. Like, could you imagine if what a chicken finger looks like was actually what a chicken's finger was? How big that goddamn chicken would be? I'm going off script here. I got. You're out of your mind.
Noble Pizza sucks. Oh, Doug, you're gonna get it, man.
Oh, what'd he say? Oh, Lenova Pizza sucks. I don't know anything about Buffalo as far as your pizza goes.
You're gonna have some fun.
I don't know. I don't think I can mail you guys a slice of pizza from New York because they'd probably frown upon that.
My brother coached at Columbia. Yeah, defensive linebackers coach at Columbia. So I went up to visit him quite a bit, and I you're not going to get me with that. It's going to be awesome.
See, that's actually kind of cool. My my fiance Becca, she works for Columbia, so we got a little bit of connection going. She works not in the city, but she works at the Grad campus. I'm leaving too much information. She's gonna be like, "Stop talking about me. You're giving away all the secrets." No, sorry. Man, we got 7 minutes left, guys. Let's hit up some questions in the comments. What do we got? What do we got going on? Robbie Anderson and a second-round pick for Trey White. No.
Nope.
What do we got? Love what y'all are both doing. Always good to keep an eye on the division rivals, and we are all agreeing the Pats below balls. Hashtag go Bills. Hashtag sports. I love saying hashtag sports because that like makes me feel like I love it. It's like absolutely fantastic. What else we got in here? Bills are still in the NFL. Meatball Parm coming in firing darts. Dunkin' Donuts greater than Tim Hortons. Is Tim Hortons like a thing up by you guys? Do you guys not have Dunkin' Donuts up there?
Weird because you have Tim Hortons, you have Dunkin' Donuts, and there's Paula's Donuts. Paula's Donuts is on. They're huge. They're humongous donuts, and they're just amazing. You get a heart attack every time.
Do you guys have Krispy Kreme up there?
No,
Krispy
not here anymore.
So Krispy Kreme donuts, what they do is they have a there's like a conveyor belt that you watch, and it like basically ices the donut in front of you. It comes out hot, and then they just give it to you right on the spot. So that's like kind of their thing. We have a few of them down here. A lot of people really like Dunkin' Donuts. There's a lot of people like Starbucks. Not that that's a donut place. Do you guys have? Oh, you know what my favorite fast food is, and I wish we had more of them around here. Have you ever had Chick-fil-A?
Which one? You broke up. What was it?
Have you ever had Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, we just got them.
Oh.
We just got them here. They're amazing.
Man. Dude, that's if I could sell my soul.
So
it'd be to own a Chick-fil-A.
Patriot. It's a score prediction for Week 1. I'm going to jump in real quick before you go.
Go for it.
Because I don't. Whatever. But if both teams score over 25 points, I believe the Jets will win. The Bills will win.
Say that again. If both teams score over 25, who's going to win?
Both teams score 5. Jets are going to be victorious. The Jets will win.
Jets will win if they both get to 25 points. I think that's
under 25. Yeah.
Under 25, it could be the Bills. I think the Bills' defense is going to be legit. I think the Jets' defense is going to be good. It's going to be a matter of if we can kind of keep Allen in check. He's an absolute wild card when it comes to defensive scheming. Man, I don't know. If the Jets can... I think we said it before. I think 27-24 or 21-27 is probably going to be the score. I think we're going to be... I don't know if we'll get to 30 because I think both defenses are pretty good. Man, it's going to be tough. I think the Jets win at home. I have a hard time seeing the Jets winning in December in Buffalo. I think we're going to wind up splitting the series. That's what I said when I did my schedule kind of prediction.
Yeah. The Jets are getting to 20. 5 on the Bills. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game because usually early in the season the defenses shine.
Yeah.
A little bit early. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what happens. So.
That's true. Guys, we got 3 minutes left. Any other questions we got in the comment section? Hashtag butt fumble.
Great, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. I hope you subscribe to me. I said your comment. That's like sending you some love. Spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich. Steven Engel knows where it's at. No Mo Screen. Chick-fil-A is the bomb. You know it. Jets aren't getting 25 on the Bills D. Ouch. I hope we do.
It's funny if he's 30.
You're right. Jets will get at least 30. I see that. Oh, God. Okay. What else we got? How is Darnold looking in camp? Maestro Shine? Darnold's looking legit. We are
Maestro.
Yeah. Maestro Shine. Words. English language. Yeah, no, Darnold's looking real good. As Jet fans, we are super stoked on Darnold right now. Like there is a there is the regular Jet arrogant confidence, and then there is Jet like, oh my god, this is what a quarterback looks like, and it's the latter. Like, people are super stoked on Darnold right now. And when you watched like last year how analysts and other like NFL talking heads kind of talked about Darnold, as a Jet fan, I really like Tony Romo a lot. I know Giant fans hate him, and I don't know how Bills fans feel about him, but I always felt like Tony was a great quarterback. I would have loved to have him on the Jets. And to hear him say on Monday Night Football, hey, Darnold is going to be good. This guy just knows how to do it. And, like, I feel like Tony knows his football, so I got my fingers crossed on this one here. But Jet fans are loving us some Sam Darnold. All right.
Yeah.
Guys, we're getting to that time. I love you guys. Please, please, please go over to #sports, sub them up. Check us both out on Sportscaster. We're going to be streaming games. We're going to be streaming some exclusive content just to there. Definitely check out Paul and Mario over there. Check out the cockpit. Guys, I love yo faces. And we are out of here.